This is the best curly hair teacher. She's giving me all the tips and techniques. I needed this.
Hey guys, my name is Lisa Torres from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a barber stylist, and today I'll be showing you how to get a curly mohawk and look just like LaMelo Ball. So let's welcome our client for today, Jay. Have a seat.
What's up, what's up?
So you ready? You ready for your full LaMelo skin fade mohawk?
I'm ready. I'm excited. So yeah, this is 2017 LaMelo right here. I remember this. Boom, then he shaved it off.
So I heard his father and his brother paid him to cut his hair off.
What?
Yup, because they hated his hair.
2019, he brought the taper back.
See, so that makes sense. He took their money. He said, I'm gonna grow my hair right back.
And then boom, then he brought in like the curly mohawk, 2019. 2020, you know, the mohawk is just getting longer.
So what are you feeling?
If I was to pick, I would get a mixture in between like this December 2021 and then this May 2021.
Well, to be honest, what it's gonna really determine the style is gonna be where your curl and your coil is actually strong, because your hair is yours and his is his. So now we know what we're ready to do. We are gonna debulk the hair first. We're gonna put in our clipper fade. Then we are gonna trim the long hair and we're gonna style it. I'm ready for you. So when was your last haircut?
Like 2 years ago.
Wow, this is 2 years?
Yeah.
So I have a hair clip. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clip away the hair that we are not going to use for our clippers. So the first step, we're gonna match this side to his other side. When I'm looking to match a mohawk, you're always gonna stand in front of the person and line up the line from the right side to the left side. You're constantly looking for points on the person's head to measure where to start and where to end. So for example, behind his ear is actually where we're looking to end it. So on this side, I'm looking to aim towards behind his ear. So this looks pretty even. I'm gonna start debulking the hair with my Wall Magic Clipper. 1.5 guard. We're actually gonna go with the grain first, creating the blend from the side of your head to the top of your head. I don't actually put it on the scalp at first. I get pretty close.
Part of my life just left me.
So at this point, I see that he doesn't have any light spots, which sometimes you can't see when the hair is long, and it's making me more confident to actually go against the head as I go down. And that's a perfect canvas now for when we start our skin fade. So we're gonna repeat the process, and we're not gonna assume that he doesn't have any light spots on this side. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna put in our skin. So I like to go in with a hard line. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start mimicking the shape of the mohawk, where it starts off in the front and curls into the back. We're gonna actually put the same line on the other side. So as we blend, we have a more consistent haircut on each side. Now we're gonna go in with our super close wall electric razor. So with this, we're not gonna go up as high, because that's gonna be our first level skin. Just gonna repeat it on the other side. We already created the shortest length, so we're gonna create the longest length. So now I'm gonna do the 1.5 clip with the grain, because we're already committed to this area. So now we created our foundational length. We're gonna go in, no clipper, we're gonna create our half. This is gonna be our midway point. It's very important to follow throughout the entire haircut and keep it consistent with the levels. Now we're gonna mimic that on the other side. Okay, so now we created our 3 levels. We're gonna blend in from the shortest to the middle, and then the middle to the highest. The idea of a fade is for the hair to flawlessly go into each other. So I think where the head starts to curve is always the hardest. We're gonna go in and we're gonna start to blend the darker hair. Now I'm gonna go in with the half guard, and this will be the final step to bring everything together. Our second step of the clipper fade is finished, but we're gonna also evaluate your curls. Use the Moroccan oil hair wash.
Yeah, how'd you know about that?
Because I can smell it. It smells so good.
Yo, GQ, Moroccan oil. Know about it.
So basically, we're just cutting all the dead ends.
What's the best way to comb through nappy hair like mine?
One, be patient, because a lot of times out of frustration, you start pulling through the knots and then you break your hair and you're actually creating more knots in the future. Two, make sure your hair is wet and conditioned and then you can go in and start to detangle. And always start from the ends and work your way toward the root. What we'll do is when we make your curls, when we have your curls defined, then we'll go in and give what's considered more like a curl cut, like cutting it while it's already styled. This is just to make all the hair even. So we're gonna cut the back. Are you a LaMelo fan? Seems like it.
When I first heard of LaMelo, he was trending on Twitter for dropping 99 points in a game.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, who is this kid? And I've been a fan ever since.
It's really matted, like don't overcommit to using a comb. See how I'm like using my fingers to kind of like comb through your hair?
Right.
Because combs can actually tighten the knots if it's too aggressive. We're just taking off like the obvious hair we're not gonna use. And then when we style it, we go back in, we're gonna like detail where your curls really need to be. So the thing about like repairing hair is that you do have to understand the result you want may not be straight out of the chair, but as long as you are given like a routine to follow at home, your hair will reach what you ultimately want it to look like. For people who are like growing their hair from beginning, I always try to encourage to start all of that from the beginning. It's always easier to prevent something than it is to try to fix it. He had a little curly mullet back here. Like it was like way longer.
Yeah, you peeped there.
We just took out all of the hair that was like obviously too long or too damaged. Now we're going to wet the hair. We're gonna drench it in water so we can like reactivate the curls. And then we're gonna see from there how we're gonna take the hairstyle. So let's walk on over here to wet your hair and then we'll be right back. So right now I'm gonna put in oil first because what I wanna do is I want to start styling it before we go in and remove any more hair. Just put some oil.
What type of oil?
Moroccan oil. This is gonna help with the combing process because we added something to smooth it. And you always wanna make sure that whenever you put a product in your hair, you comb it through. It's not really evenly distributed until you kind of comb it through. I'm gonna add in a little bit of leave-in conditioner, not too much because you don't wanna put too many products in your hair. So when you're putting stuff into your hair, you kind of wanna like section it and make sure that you really thoroughly get it into that section. Your curls are not gonna be as defined today as they will be as when you start building your curl memory. Meaning scrunching, constantly like trying to scrunch your hair into its natural curl. When you dry your hair, guys go like, don't do that. Like just try to go like this. Okay, so this is pretty combed in. We're gonna go in and finger coil it so that we can define his curls. So you'll just like grab a piece of hair and kind of curl it like that, like on your own. I like to use something that has a stronger hold simply because my curls kind of fall apart. So right now I'm just taking off any excess product. Now we're gonna go in and we're going to create some curls. So this may be tedious, but this is the process to beginning like that curl memory. We're gonna see how much your hair curls, but ultimately we might have to cut some of these side curls since they're looking pretty long. This is pretty much what LaMelo had when he was doing like those tighter coils. They were all finger coils.
And you teaching me everything today.
Curly hair is like the most misunderstood hair. So it's okay to make the curls kind of big, It's just that when you dry it, you can break the curls down. You just wanna be gentle about it. It can be time consuming to make it, so you don't wanna make them so little that you're there all day coiling. The biggest you should ever go is like the size of your finger. So curls are best when they look random, so you just wanna kinda grab pieces as you see. So I kinda just coil it around my finger and then I just slide my finger off and then it should be the average size curl. Because even if his curls are tighter than this, when we break the curls after they're dry, it'll start to come out like his natural curl size. LaMelo's hair mostly has curls on the outside, not so much like at the root of it, so this definitely works. So this part right here is the diffuser. The best way overall to dry your hair is air drying, in my opinion, but a lot of times we don't have time for that. So you wanna use a low or medium heat with a medium speed. You don't wanna put high heat or high wind levels. To help like set it in this way where we start to encourage curl patterns to come back, having a blow dryer and a diffuser would really help. Because if you just went outside without drying it, it's very likely to fall. But if you dry it before you leave, it'll hold the form. Sometimes you have to see what the hair wants to do before you can commit to cutting certain areas. I didn't know how short your hair was gonna curl, so I'd rather leave it long and then we could go back in and detail the silhouette. I pull the curl and I kinda like slide down against the curl. When the hair coils, the hair is like a lot longer than what it really is. So if you were to just cut it bluntly and it jumps back up, the hair is not gonna all be in the same place. So if you keep it coiled, even if you stretch it and you cut it kind of like with the curl, it'll still kind of taper out into a little curl. So yeah, so even though we blow dried it with the diffuser, you're not really gonna see your final result until it kind of air dries. But it's a good way to walk out the door and not feel like you just came out the shower. So I'm just gonna dry it a little bit more. Okay, so I think that your hair is pretty much done. We're just gonna clean up your beard and then we can look at your new hairstyle. Okay, we are all done.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Curls on deck, curls on deck. Okay, okay. I love it. I love the curls. I love the Mohawk. Love it. I'ma definitely rock it. New York.
And now you know how to take care of your hair for the future and how to really get your curls popping like Melo. I think that's like the biggest part.
Well, thank you for everything, Lisa.
Yeah, of course.